going, and you guys just went to another gear in the fourth. Just speak to what you guys were able to do in the fourth quarter.
Just pick it up, get stops, not take the ball out the net every possession. I think that's what bogged us down in the first half. They kept scoring, and we couldn't get out and play our type of basketball. We just picked up the defense intensity, just made it tough on them.
Yeah, obviously there was frustration throughout the first three quarters. How were you guys able to sort of channel that and not allow it to affect what you guys did in the fourth?
Yeah, I mean, it's not frustration. We've been here before. We've been in these situations. You know, we understand how this game of basketball works. You know, it's not always going to go your way, especially at this point of the season. But finding ways to, you know, overcome that, the missed shots and, you know, the defensive breakdowns, and, you know, don't let it linger. You know, just nip it in the bud and, you know, do what we have to do.
And lastly, with Chris, know you've seen it. Again, I keep repeating myself on this, but when he switches into that mode that you talked about, he gets into, what's it like to be part of that with him?
I mean, especially in the fourth quarter, I was a spectator. I got to watch it from the bench, and I mean, you guys tell me you're watching the same thing, man. It you know, impresses us every time we see it, but doesn't surprise us. I mean, it's just the will to win. You know, he sees the matchup he likes, and I mean, you could hear their bench yelling him, send him left. You can try whatever you want to do, but you know, he has a rebuttal move for you every time, and you know, not only is he can score, he can make a play for somebody else if you leave your man. So tough matchup.
Look, in the second half especially, you guys put Doncic in a lot of actions. How important is it for you guys to make sure he's expending some energy on that end as well?
It's very important. You know, I think they're trying to go at matchups they like, and, you know, we're doing the same thing on the other end. So, you know, tough matchup to guard, but, you know, he's going to have to guard a bit.
How'd that trio of threes feel? Did the crowd get louder every time you felt like?
Yeah. I like the fourth quarter today. Definitely got louder than, say, the previous game. But they're bringing it, man. The energy's in the house. The energy's around the city. You know, I think everybody's on this revenge tour with us, and, you know, it's fun to be a part of it.
Book, with DA and JaVale dealing with foul trouble there, how big was it for Busy to come in and have the energy that he did?
I mean, Busy's another one, man. He's a true professional. He's always ready to go. He has a pretty sick routine before the game. I'm watching him, and, you know, he's always laser focused, and, you know, I just love being on the court with him. You know, he does all the things that aren't going to show up in the stat sheet, rotations, talking, blocking shots, setting one of the best screens in the NBA. So I enjoy being on the court with Busy.
Look, you guys are outscored by 10 in the fourth in game one, and tonight outscored them by 14 in the fourth. How much was that on your mind, the way you guys finished game one over the last couple of days? And when that moment came, did that contribute at all to it, that the fact that there was something you want to make up for the way you closed out game one?
I wouldn't say that. You know, I didn't even know they beat us by 10 in the fourth quarter last game. I know they had a late push, but, you know, we've been a great fourth quarter team this whole season and pride ourselves in, you know, not valuing that quarter more than the other ones, but, you know, locking in and understanding it's time to win. And, you know, we've done a good job of, you know, having a lead at the end of the third quarter and finishing teams off this year. And, you know, tonight was another example of it.
This is the second year in a row now, not struggling, but having to play a really tough team in the first round that has matchup issues with you. And then coming into the second round just seems like it's much clearer sailing. What is it about? Does the first round get you guys locked in for the second round? Do you feel that at all?
I would just say the playoffs in general is, you know, about matchups. You know, I don't think the seeding is always correct in terms of, you know, just different matchups. Like, you're playing against different players. Maybe one team matches up better with another team. You know, so it's hard to say, but, you know, we're only 2 games in. We haven't done anything yet.
Look, I'll answer the question for you. Personally, it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
How much fun is it to play in?
To play with Chris or the games? Oh, come on, man. This is all I play for. And just getting another dose of it. I missed it. And I don't want to say we turn it on in the playoffs, but it's definitely a different energy. You can feel it from shoot around to the game, and the energy of the fans, they feel it also. So it's been fun.
Well, you found yourself in that sort of familiar position now after a jump shot where you're lying down and kind of looking up. Are you conscious that that's happened a couple times now? Are you kind of?
Yeah, I just think that's like my body movements. I don't know why it keeps happening, but I did think about it today. I was like, this is the pose that they take a picture of, but it just happens, man. I fall and just wait on my teammates to pick me up.
Look, with the way the second quarter went, all the offensive fouls called on you guys, the, sort of the anxiety of that, and them taking the lead. Did you think at halftime, I got to come out early in second half and get something going? Is that a conscious effort, or did that just happen?
It just happens. We play best available offense. The thing for us in halftime was we needed to get stops. I don't think we can ever play our type of basketball if we're taking the ball out the net every time. I like it when we're defending, getting rebounds, securing and getting out. I think we have so many creators and so many talented people on this team where with him running the show, we space off of him and, he's going to make the right play, and that's when the action starts.
Book, talk about what it's like playing with a 37-year-old to be on Friday.
To be.
And to see what he's doing at this age.
I mean, like I said earlier, man, it's super impressive, but doesn't surprise me. So I've been watching it since I was 7 or 8 or 2 years old. Relax. But, just more than what he's doing on the court, just watching, how he carries himself and just being a sponge to that, seeing his routine, how he takes care of his body, how his diet, his strength and conditioning, he can tell you better than I can, but he's feeling younger by the day. And it's fun to be a part of.
Jay created a lot of, he had the hot hand in the first half for you guys and was the leading scorer, but it seemed like he had created a lot of second chance opportunities, which were kind of struggled last series against the Pelicans. So can you talk about how his dribble penetration and second chance opportunities he created opened you up, and also for Chris in that third and fourth quarter?
Yeah, that's what I was speaking of earlier when you talked about second round versus first. Like, it's just it's a matchup difference. They don't have the Larry Nances and the Valanciunas crashing the glass every time. And, that's something that we pride ourselves on last year, just getting extra possessions. We're one of the most efficient teams in the NBA. So if we get more possessions, I think it puts us in, the best possible place to win.
Chris, for you, just that fourth quarter where, they made your lead is 6, and then all of a sudden you start hitting shots. How much of that is just, okay, this is what I have to do, and how much of it is you read the game through 3 quarters and now you see what you can do in the fourth?
Like I always say, just playing the game. Book to start that third quarter, got us going. I read the game, and other guys on the team made big shots, whenever they made a run or just to get us going, to get us warmed up into the game. And so just feeding off of that.
At one point, I think you hit a shot and then you be given the timeout signal, looking over like, okay, and then they call a timeout. So, or you just take us to that place mentally where you are when you're in that type of mode.
Probably just into the game. You know what I mean? It ain't like texts need to be called or whatnot like that. But when you're in the playoffs, both teams at it, getting into it, saying stuff, whatever. It's all in the game.
Book, obviously, Chris showed tonight what he can do as a scorer. His entire career, his nickname is the point guard, right? His reputation is what he can do as a point guard. You, as someone who, can also fill it up, what impresses you the most about Chris as a scorer? Just score to score, what do you like the most about his game?
Just the way he manipulates it, honestly. I remember growing up, I want to take it back to when I was 5 years old again, but me and my dad watching him play, and he was like, you see how he makes sure everybody's involved, and then he picks his times when he's going to take over the game. And I've just always admired, the way he does that. He's just in control at all times. He's 2-3 steps ahead of whatever the other team's doing. And just the leadership, you know, that can never go unnoticed when you're talking about this man. And just the way he holds people accountable, the will to win. I mean, the list keeps going on and on. You know, that's why he has the nickname he does.
Chris, when you're playing a guy like Luka Doncic, and how important is it to make him work defensively as far as running him through a lot of actions, especially late in the game when he's logged heavy minutes like that?
We just try to play. Take what the defense gives us. Long series, just we got 2 games. We're just gonna keep playing.
Chris, late in Kobe's career, he said something along the lines of like, if I could just be a closer like Mariano Rivera and come in, like he would relish that role. Do you get amped to have the fourth quarter stage and the consequences and all of the things that go into winning time? What about that appeals to you as a player?
It's fun. I love it, especially on the road. You know what I mean? And what's even better is having a guy like this on your team too. You know, the guy that when you're down 2, they're not afraid to shoot the 3. You know what I mean? So we're just in the locker room talking about it as a team. You know, the end of games it's exciting for the fans. And as players, I think you just always got to lean on the work. You know what I mean? It all goes back to the work. You can't cheat the game, right? You got to do your strength and conditioning. You got to lift. You got to get your rest. You got to get your shots up and all that. And when you do that, you live with the results. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you live with the results. And I think the fact that we see each other day in and day out like that, putting the work in, we trust it.
Just to follow that up, Devin hit the 3 threes. Chris, what was it like to not only see that, but see the crowd pretty much get louder and louder with
I
each
loved
one?
it. I kept watching. You know, I kept seeing him sort of back and he coming off left, right, whatever. I mean, I done played with a lot of great shooters in my career, but nobody, you know what I mean, like that. You know what I mean? So I'm the guy who, when he shoot it, I think is going in every time. I'll be pissed when he miss.
Yep.